Are you a kids movie from my generation because you're fun and cute but also horrifying in many ways I didn't originally realize? The next Call of Duty should be a realistic RPG that starts with you working at Little Caesars and an army recruiter lies to you at the mall. Imagine being held at gunpoint, bear with me, by a literate animal, and the only hope of rescue is, bear with me, tweeting a coded message. Ah, I see. I think my favorite part of every flight is during takeoff when the pilot screams, "Bend to my will, metal skybird, and take us to the big blueness!" And all the passengers chant, "Skybird, skybird," to convince the plane to take off. Every cop show, damn, this serial killer is crafty, very smart and sneaky. Every true crime podcast, despite dozens of complaints from neighbors, it took over a year for police to investigate the source of the foul odor. I love seeing people online say, "I watch real movie criticism," while linking to a video labeled, "Captain Marvel sucks and is cancer," that's an hour long and by a guy named The Sarcastic Alcoholic, who uses an icon of a plague doctor in a tuxedo drinking scotch and facepalming. I miss how Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network only aired commercials aimed at kids. I wish there was an option for that on Hulu and YouTube, like, please no more insurance or antidepressants, please only show me the latest in super soaker technology. People from states with nice roads may never understand what it's like hitting a pothole so hard that your soul leaves your body for a moment, and you feel an obligation to audibly apologize to your car. I really think Rasputin lucked out, and that being remembered by history as some species of giant unkillable sex wizard is something most of us can only fruitlessly aspire to. I once took my kids to a local farm and we found a little goat with its horn stuck in a fence, just sitting there kinda mournfully on the grass. We tried to help it get free, but it was stuck tight. We petted it for a while and fed it some grass, as it had lawn mowed a circle around itself as far as it could reach, and then went back to the ticket office to tell them it needed help. But before I'd said more than, "There's a goat," the guy cut me off with a weary wave and said, "Yeah, we know, stuck in the fence. That's Brenda. She can get herself out whenever she wants. She just likes the attention." Trolled by a fucking goat. I'm fucking dying. Yeah, that's Brenda. Hey, who's your favorite short, half-Irish, half-Jewish, but secular, dark-haired, light-eyed former child actor with a severe nickel allergy who played the title character from a beloved British children's book about a child with magic powers? Me, right? Damn it, Radcliffe. Holy f***, a question I'm qualified for. I bartend, so I always have at least 3 cheese graters at my disposal, and will go through all 3 blocks on your soup if you don't stop me. I will then watch and see if you actually eat it, and if you don't, judge you for wasting both my time and my cheese. I will most definitely eat every single tiny scrap of that cheese and then lick any that fell out off the table, then move to the floor, then the other tables, licking each and every customer's plate clean. I've never made it to the kitchen, but if I haven't been escorted out at that point, I'd be cleaning the cheese off the counters. I'm 25 and completely burnt out. What am I supposed to do for 50 more years? Maintain a yard? Bitch about traffic? Keep buying spinach and watching it die? Get oil changes? Fuck's sake. Wow, this pub is great. I sure hope someone with an acoustic guitar starts playing a cover of the Black Keys' Lonely Boy on a set of PA speakers, so I have to shout over the top of it to have a conversation with my friends. Some people have resting bitch face. Adam Driver has resting professor of theology listening to his students present a report on religious symbolism in medieval art that they copied off of Wikipedia face. Friend, over the phone, do you think the quarantine has changed you? Me, knitting a dress for the raccoons in my backyard. No. Sex is great, but have you ever handed in your notice to a job that has shattered your mental health for months? Men writing women characters. She was beautiful but didn't know it. She was 5'7" and 101 pounds. Her feet were size 3. Her hat size was infant. She'd never thrown up even once. Her periods lasted 45 minutes. Her top was see-through. Whenever I eat soup with bread on the side, I like to pretend I'm in a medieval tavern having supper after a long day of traveling. You know, whatever makes it more enjoyable for you. Do British people still do the accent when nobody's around? It's Tuesday, innit? A bowl of water? I beg your pardon, my dear fellow. However, I must point out that we don't all talk like we are street urchins selling jellied eels from a bucket. Would it be immoral to raise a baby to believe they're growing up in the 90s by only exposing them to 90s media and telling them the year is 1998, and then one day, when they're a bit older, just expose them to present-day media and convince them they were asleep for a long time but didn't age? I mean, you could have a kid and do that, you know, it's a fun experiment. Struggle with sleep? Here are some useful tips. Turn your phone off early. Have a relaxing bath. Open the window. Help a raccoon climb through the window so you can watch Netflix together. This is a sleepover now. Make popcorn for the raccoon. Avoid caffeine. Sometimes I say, huh? Then answer the question before the person even repeats themselves. I'm not deaf. My brain just be lagging like a 2005 Dell desktop. It would be fitting. Foxes are dogs running cat software with a dolphin soundboard. New movie idea. Small town farm boy goes to the big city and falls in love with a hotshot lawyer woman who convinces him to move into the city and start hating Christmas. By age 25, you should have a failed YouTube career, a foreign film you watched accidentally yet always recommend, an unfinished 12-chapter fanfiction, an unfounded hatred of TikTok, had enough. If you could only teleport somewhere to and back once, what would you use it on? How long do I stay? You can teleport back whenever you want. I would teleport to the foot of Quentin Tarantino's bed at like 2 a.m., scream and shake his bed, then teleport back. What the fuck? So I tried to read 50 Shades of Grey this weekend, but every time Anastasia said, "oh my," which was like 2 to 3 times per page, I couldn't help but imagine George Takei saying, "oh my," by page 12. I imagined everything Anastasia said was said in George Takei's voice. By page 15, I just imagined George Takei was Anastasia. I had to give up somewhere around page 17 because Christian has started to sound and look like William Shatner / Captain Kirk circa Star Trek the original series, and after that I imagined everyone wearing Enterprise uniforms, and there was no way the story was going to come back from that. I didn't even make it to any of the sex scenes. I'm at that age where the heated seats in my truck are more about soothing back pain than warming me up. It's not a Sunday unless you completely waste it, then feel really sad around 8 p.m. Guitarists be like, "yo, this tone is so scrongly, but if I twist this here knob, it widens the screengo and adds bonkle to it." Women get to smell like real things, vanilla, lavender, but men have to smell like concepts. What the f*** is Cool Sport Rush? Hey, I say f*** it, I buy women's shampoo all the time. I want to smell like strawberries, sprinkles, ice cream. I don't give a shit. I will put that shit all over my body. Listen, if you sneak up on someone to grab them as a joke and they elbow you in the diaphragm as hard as possible, that's your fault. Your entire goal was to startle. Some people's startle response, limbic hijack mode, is fight. You ran the risk of that happening and you still did it. I'm just sick of the, "oh my god, what's your problem?" reaction when it's like, I don't know, man, you triggered a deeply entrenched survival instinct for a laugh and it didn't work out for you. Maybe shut the fuck up. Imagine you getting a job at GameStop and your manager is the type of guy to chug a whole Monster Energy drink and then say, "haha, level up," and he does that every day. This is oddly specific. Are you okay? Reddit, am I the asshole? My mom, 82 female, told me, 12 male, to do the dishes, but I, 12 male, was too busy playing Fortnite, 3 kills, so I, 12 male, grabbed my controller, DualShock 4, and threw it at her, 138 kilometers per hour. Okay, so when some PhD nerd does it, they're a chemist and they get a research grant. But when I do it, I'm a felon and I need to interlock my fingers behind my head. Such bullshit. Don't even talk to me right now. I don't have the patience or ability to play Elden Ring, but I'm madly jealous of everyone tweeting stuff like, "I found Borgus the wretched goat herder in the plain of tormented milk. His head is 8 dogs. I had to fight him 342 times. He wept as he died. It was awesome." Well, there's only one thing I have to say to you, my friend. Get good. Alexa, show me the unnervingly large Venn diagram of people who hate immigrants but love to take 23andMe tests to find out exactly what type of immigrant their family once was. Dating someone who's not as online as you is weird. In the span of 2 hours, my girlfriend will read a book, go for a walk, and cook a meal while I'll still be trying to figure out why Communist Daddy 69 thinks I'm a moron. I eat 15 apples for breakfast, then drive myself to the hospital just to watch the doctors get blasted backwards into the drywall because they can't withstand my aura. Can't get sentences like this anywhere else. Have we checked all food to see if exploding them makes them into something better, or did we just stop with corn? My husband has some disturbing requests for after he's passed away. This one is really bizarre, and I'm sorry ahead of time. My husband of 12 years has had some medical problems recently. The topic about end-of-life plans came up, and I asked for if he wanted to be buried. He didn't want that, nor did he want to be cremated. My husband wants me to have his skull taken from his body and cleaned. Then he wants that skull put on the mantelpiece in the living room. The rest of his body he wants sent to one of those places that makes the gems out of bodies and made into 2 blue diamonds. He then wants those gems to be put in the eye socket of the skull to look like eyes. Then he can watch the family home and be passed down through the generations. I don't know about that one. I mean, it's not my family. It's not my husband, but yeah, no. Can I legally blow up a planet from the solar system? Let's say I build a device or have a supernatural power that allows me to completely destroy a planet with a giant explosion. Would I be charged by the law if I did that? P.S. All planets except Earth. Yeah, I don't know if there's any laws on that now, like, the legality of blowing up a planet, but I've seen a few movies, and people don't really like it when that happens. I don't want my laptop to be the thinnest model yet. I want a battery that will outlast the sun, a screen big enough to blind the person behind me, more USB slots than there are Apple fanboys in the area, a fucking disc reader and writer. I will pay extra for it to be heavy enough to bludgeon someone to death. I don't want to work 5 days a week and figure out what to cook for dinner every day. I want to lie on a rock in the sun like a lizard. You ask me for the time and notice my watch is actually a live shrimp hugging my wrist. He whispers, 12:30. But he's guesstimating as shrimps usually do. I know nothing about wine, so I buy bottles based on the label's art. My wife asked me what type of wine I wanted with dinner. I'm like, bear in a scuba suit. Rob Ryan looks like Gandalf when undercover to bust a cocaine smuggling ring in Miami in 1986. Bro, why is laundry the most exhausting chore? I do laundry for 2 hours and feel like I fought 12 seagulls. Adult Arthur looks like he used to front a regionally successful pop-punk band in the late 2000s that was just a few years too late to really catch the big commercial wave, so then he got into tech startups. You can say please and thank you a million times, and your toddler will never repeat it, but if you say ass-faced motherfucker once... In 3rd grade, I was suspended for inciting a mob when me and all of my fellow cesarean-born kids started making fun of the natural-born kids because they touched their mom's p***s, and I just wanted to apologize for that before the world ends. It's Catholic canon that in the Garden of, Gethsemane, Jesus Christ saw every sin committed by human beings, which means that he watched a guy blasting rope to Waluigi hentai and still decided to sacrifice himself for humanity. Absolute legend.